What's up, everyone? Welcome to This Day in Philly Sports History for October 20th, 2024. I'm your host, Jim Montgomery. Welcome to an Eagles Sunday Game Day edition. Eagles-Giants. We'll have more on that game here in a minute, but let's start with some housekeeping. Be sure to follow me on social media, Jimbo_Mont, Twitter and TikTok, at PhillyJimbo on Instagram. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, spread the word. And if you do listen on Google Podcasts, for some reason there was an issue with the upload yesterday, so it never did get uploaded. So I apologize. That's why the best place to go is the YouTube channel. Everything is always there. All right, if you need information on Philadelphia Sports Hall of Fame, everything you need is in the description, including ticket information, bios on the inductees, and just a lot of cool information about the Philadelphia Sports Hall of Fame. So that is in the description. All right, if you were one of the 67% who said you were going to watch the Flyers game, you were treated to a 3-0 shutout. The Flyers got off the plane, apparently looked a little sluggish, did not have a good showing down at the Wells Fargo Center. I mean, they were just out west. They came home. So hopefully a couple days off. They look to get back in action on Tuesday against the Capitals, but just a sluggish, slow. The crowd was booing. Just not a good night in South Philadelphia. So hopefully those couple days in their own beds will help get them rejuvenated and start out ready to go on Tuesday. The Union season is over. They lost in embarrassing fashion yesterday, scoring an own goal. I think they still would have ended up on the outside looking in, but it would have been interesting. But they lost 2-1 to Cincinnati. Lots of questions with this team going into the offseason about who's staying, who's going. So there will be no MLS playoffs in Philadelphia this year. Just chalk it up to another one of those. It's been a great couple of years. Sixers looking to get back in action on Wednesday, kicking off their season. And we'll continue our preview today, which everybody's been talking about the health of the team and everybody staying healthy. But one thing I think that's being overlooked is just how long it's going to take this team to learn how to play together, because they practice. But Joe didn't play at all in the preseason. Paul George missed a few games. You have a bunch of new players. So it's going to take a little bit of time to find that cohesion. And I think the quicker they do that, the better off they'll be. Mainly, I think PG, Tyrese, and Joe need to learn. And I think their games, all three, complement each other. I've said that all week. So I think it'll be an easier lift, a quicker lift than what we might normally see. But that is a huge question, and we've seen it with guys that they've tried to bring in to play with Joe. Even with James Harden, it took a little bit of time. So I think we need to be patient with this team to start, especially if they're going to be managing the health, and we'll get more into the health aspect tomorrow. So it's one thing to keep an eye on is just how quickly this team can gel together and be a cohesive unit. So we'll see how that goes. But that was just, I think it's an important thing to mention that we need to keep an eye on that, because that's a big deal, especially without having them played any preseason games together as well. I think they're all vets, though. I think they'll be able to figure it out pretty quickly. And as I keep mentioning, their games all sort of blend together nicely. But we will continue our Sixers preview tomorrow. We'll look at some coaching news, some injuries, and kind of the load management before we give our final predictions on Tuesday. Going to go a little out of order today. Going to go back today first to 1993. And on this day in 1993, it was a rainy day in Philly down at the Vet. Game 4 of the World Series, a very pivotal game. The Blue Jays came in leading 2-1. The Phillies sent Tommy Green to the mound to take on Todd Stoudemire. And what we saw was one of the more wild games in World Series history. Blue Jays scored 3 in the top of the first. Bottom of the first, 4 walks and a Milt Thompson triple. The Phillies led 4-3 after 1 inning. Lenny Dykstra hit a 2-run homer in the bottom of the second to make it 6-3 Phillies. Blue Jays came back in the top of the fourth and top of the third and scored 4 runs. Then Mariano Duncan and Lenny Dykstra tied the game in the bottom of the fourth. And it was just an offensive explosion. Then the Phillies scored 5 in the bottom of the fifth. 2-run homer by Dalton, a 2-run homer by Dykstra. Milt Thompson, who was a star in this game, hit an RBI double. So it was 12-7 Phillies. Toronto got 2 back in the top of the 6th. Phillies got 1 back. Milt Thompson again being the hero. In the 7th, Darren Dalton was hit by a pitch and ended up scoring a run. 14-9 after 7 innings. At that point, I remember feeling, okay, the Phillies are going to be able, like, not even their bullpen can stop this, right? Like, we're good. Then the top of the 8th happened. Larry Anderson and Mitch Williams struggled, gave up 6 runs to the Blue Jays. Toronto, it just was a complete mess. 15-14, the Blue Jays ended up winning, basically ending the Phillies World Series dreams, and to this day still is the highest scoring World Series game ever. And I still say, where was Roger Mason? If somehow Roger Mason had been left in or something, like you overworked Larry Anderson and Mitch Williams. I put this loss on Jim Fregosi, but you can't blow a 14-9 lead. It just can't happen. But on this day in 1993, one of the more wild World Series games in Major League Baseball history, as the Blue Jays beat the Phillies 15-14 to go up 3-1. We know Curt Schilling, we talked about during our Red October spotlight, came back and made this a sent Game 6 back to Toronto with a gem, a 2-0 win. But then we all know what happened. We won't talk about Game 6. But that all happened on this day back in 1993. All right, it is Eagles game day. And still, I don't have a good feeling about this game. I think the line is spot on. It's a 3-point line. Over-unders at 42.5. I'd like both. Like, those are good numbers. We're 2-3 on our bet, but I'll get to the bet here in a minute. But Sidney Brown is coming back today. I think that's a huge boost for the defense. It's going to be a tough game, though. I mean, the Giants' defense is tough. You got to control the crowd. The crowd's going to be fired up. They hate us just as much as we hate them. You throw in Saquon Barkley. So it's going to be a tough game. But what do the Eagles need to do to win this game? Let's look at the 3 keys. First, I think you need to get Saquon involved early and often. It's his homecoming. He's going to be looking to get fired up. The crowd, one way or the other, they're going to boo him. It's just a matter of how loud and for how long, and if they cheer him first. He's looking forward to it. I don't care what he says. No matter what, he's looking forward to this game as well. He should be. So you got to get him going early and often. You can run against the Giants' defensive line as well. I think set the tone early, and that's what's been missing with this team with all these slow starts in the first quarter. I do think you got to keep those emotions in check and harness them for good, but I think you're going to get Saquon early and often, whether it's running the ball, running swing pass routes, whatever you got to do to get Saquon the ball. Like, I look for him to have 25, 30 touches this game. And I think that's going to be the recipe for success. Keep him going, get him in a rhythm, because like the Giants can be run against. I think they have one of the worst running, like their bottom end. It might be the worst run defense in the league. They have a decent pass rush too, so being able to run the ball will help neutralize that some. But Saquon, get him early, get him often, but control those emotions, Saquon. Just play within yourself, play within your game. And linked to that, the second key to the game, can we get a first quarter point? Can it happen? We need to get off to a fast start, and I think if you're going to script the plays and get Saquon involved, that's going to lead to a fast start. I don't even care if it's a field goal. I need first quarter points today, because I think if you don't get first quarter points and put pressure on Daniel Jones, this could be an ugly game. Like, I really could see this game being a blowout either way. I know that's crazy to say because it's a division game, but I could see the Giants rolling us if we don't get if we let them get comfortable and believe that they can win because they haven't been playing bad. So we need the fast start, need to score first, score in the first quarter. I'm not saying we need, like I predicted last week, 15, 20 points in the first quarter, but I need to score first in this game. And I think if you get Saquon rolling early, you're setting yourself up to score early. And then pressure Daniel Jones. I don't care what anybody says. He's been playing okay. He's terrible. He's absolutely terrible. So you got to put pressure on him. And if he has all day to run, and again, I've been saying this, I feel like, for the past 4 games, do your job. If your job is to contain because Daniel Jones is not afraid to run, and he's not afraid to take hits either. So you got to put the pressure on him and not allow him to beat you. And it all ties together. If you cut off to a fast start, you're going to be able to kind of force him into. He will make mistakes. Daniel Jones will make a mistake. It's just a matter of forcing those mistakes and then capitalizing on them. So those are your 3 keys to the game. Still looking for a sponsor. If anybody out there wants to sponsor the 3 keys to the game, get Saquon going early and often. Get off to a fast start. I need first quarter points. I don't even care if it's a safety. Tackle Daniel Jones in the end zone, and I'll be happy. Like, I need first quarter points today. And then pressure Daniel Jones and not let him beat you because he's not that good. I don't care what anybody says. And I'll give the Clashing Conferences a shout out right now. My boys over there, like, Topher Pete is just delusional. Daniel Jones is not a good quarterback, so you need to make him play like a not good quarterback and not allow him to beat you. By the way, the Clashing Conferences podcast is available wherever you get your podcasts as well as on YouTube. Those guys do a great job, even though Topher is delusional. So those are the 3 keys to the game. I feel as though I'm going to regret this, but I just think in Saquon's homecoming, I think this is going to be a close game. I really do think it's going to be a close game. I'm hoping that it's a 24-20 kind of game, but going the Eagles minus the 3, I just cannot see them. Like I mentioned earlier in the week, they're a team on the brink. They're going on a losing streak or a winning streak. I just don't know which one. So let's hope that this is the start of a winning streak. We haven't won 2 games in a row since last November. Score first quarter point today. Eagles win. I'm going 24-20, which would put the over 42.5 in play. I do like that bet as well. Not as much as the Eagles minus 3, though. So might want to do a little same game teaser. Tease the Eagles down to plus 3. And then take the over, what would it be, 36.5, if you want to play it that way too. But we're going Eagles. Hopefully get back to 500 now. And let's get 2 wins in a row and start building some momentum. But those are the keys to the game. There's the pick. Go Birds. I'll be watching it with a playoff baseball game going on in front of me. Possibly our last fall ball game of the year. Hopefully the team wins, though, and they can get that experience of winning a playoff game. All right, on this day, back in 1993, Blue Jays beat the Phillies 15-14 in one of the wildest World Series games ever. Phillies blew multiple leads, including a 14-9 lead in the 8th inning when Larry Anderson and Mitch Williams blew up. Really changed the whole dynamic of that World Series and really allowed the Blue Jays to go and win. 3 keys to the Eagles game: get Saquon going early and often, get a fast start, give me some first quarter points, and then pressure Daniel Jones. Don't let him beat you. Please, God, please, don't let Daniel Jones beat you. But it's not going to happen. We're going 24-20 Eagles today. They win 2 in a row for the first time this year, first time since November of last year, and I think this is a start of a run. Maybe I'm delusional, just like Topher, thinking that this is going to be the time, but we'll see. Be sure to go to phillygoat.com, get your Eagles gear, use that promo code Jim Montgomery to take 10% off of your order. I think the perfect shirt for today would be I have a toxic relationship with Philly sports because, well, we all do. Also, you get got a lot of good comments on the election shirt with the donkey the Elephant, and the Philly Fanatic with the checkbox. Use the promo code Jim Montgomery to take 10% off of your order. But it's Eagles game day. Eagles 24-20. Let's go. Let's do this. Hopefully, it's a victory Monday tomorrow. But this has been This Day in Philly Sports History for October 20th, 2024. My name is Jim Montgomery. Go have yourselves a Sunday. And until next time, go Birds.